May we pray. Lord, we are thankful for this day and the privilege to assemble in your name in a land as bright as ours. We thank you for the gift and benefit of home ownership. We thank you for organizations like Habitat for Humanity who help to bring home ownership within reach for all. Continue to bless what we do and what we say, and bless today's presentation. It is for your sake and for your glory. We call on your name. Amen.
names of our ancestors, 4 different varieties that were living together at the same time. And it was just such an incredible experience to see that part of the world that was once one continent, and then Pangea, where it split up. It was one of the most incredible trips I've ever done, and I encourage you guys to participate in the bidding and to get out to Zulu.
It's working out.
Thank you, Ellen. I want to report that on Saturday, we had several of us volunteer at the Food for Kids box packing event. Apparently, during the school holidays, there's a significant food shortage for the children. And so I encourage us to think about that becoming a regular Rotary event, because it was really meaningful and a lot of fun. Next up is Ryan.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. We have 2 exciting opportunities for us to get together coming up in a few days. Thursday night is our monthly social, the 3rd Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30. This month we'll be holding it at First Magnitude. Help share our appreciation for everything they do for us, for our Seafood Spectacular and Wild Game Feast. All clubs are invited. It's a great opportunity to bring guests and for us to socialize and get to know each other better. As you can see, our programs are pretty jam-packed with action and little time for us to actually socialize. So we want to make a point once a month to give each other an opportunity, not only to mingle with ourselves, but also other Rotarians and other clubs in the area. So that's 5:30 this Thursday at First Magnitude. And then Friday morning at 10 o'clock at the Southwest Advocacy Group, we are packing meals for Thanksgiving, 150 meals for the residents within that neighborhood. We have about 5 or 6 people that are already signed up. We could use a couple more hands. If you're interested, please let me know. That's 10 a.m. on Friday morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan. Now I believe we have a craft talk.
That's 2. Oh, that's 1.
Well, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. My name is Jacob Atem. For those who don't know me, I am the CEO and co-founder of Southern Sudan Healthcare Organization, which we have been working in South Sudan for the past 17 years. Right now, we are in critical condition, particularly when it comes to finance and funding, given what's going on globally, and we are really down. And our services, we focus on maternal and child health. Last year, we just delivered, this year actually, 300 babies, and we plan emergency, we have a lot of vaccination, we just do a lot. And given the current conditions, we are unfortunately going to be forced to reduce the staff, and if we do, it's very difficult to do the delivery of services. So we had 3 generous donors who have stepped up and say that they are willing. We have something called the end of the year campaign, who are willing to match up to $45,000. So I'm just asking your network, please do share, whether it's in your church, your business, your individual. Sometimes even we are 501c3, so we can use your required minimum distribution. Just share with your network. So I really appreciate and I really thank you for always supporting the people of South Sudan. Thank you.
Now one more announcement. 30 seconds, here's Greg.
Start your watches. All right, Dudley Farm, last year a number of us went out there for their cane grinding. They're changing it up, it's corn grinding. So we're doing that this Saturday. A number of us, it's kind of last minute, just throwing it together. Ryan brought his wife and his son Kay. We had a blast throwing food to the chickens. So anyway, it starts at 8 to 10 if you want to see the corn grinding. Then the tours start from 10 to 11. Then traditional music after that is $5 per vehicle. That's my time.
always said look to the right and left before you cross the street, and I forgot to look over here to see all these people with announcements. So, without further mistakes, we'll introduce the Craft Talk.
Wobbly microphone, so I hope you're ready. Hey, I'm Eric Atria, and I'm happy to introduce somebody I brought into the club, somebody who exemplifies service above self, and I'll let her speak about what she does in our community. Samantha Howell, if you come up, please.
Can everybody hear me okay? All right, it's not okay. You know, I have only been able to sit and enjoy one or two craft talks since I joined earlier this year. So I went online and I looked for guidance. And Rotary has like guidelines for craft talks. They also give you 5 to 15 minutes. I'm going to keep it to 30. But one of the things that it said was include stories about service. And I have to say, I was jotting notes all morning trying to figure out which story I thought would be really interesting. But my name is Samantha Howell. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the pro bono director at Three Rivers Legal Services. I'm an attorney in Florida and New York, and have been practicing for about 15 years. But I've been doing pro bono program management almost that entire time. So I come into organizations and help them recruit and manage volunteer attorneys and students to help provide services. I've landed here in Florida, which I never thought I would. I crossed Florida off my list when I was applying to law schools. But I was born in Kentucky, and I went to middle school in Indiana, high school in Massachusetts, college in Washington State, law school in New York, and now I'm actually getting my master's program here, my master's degree. So bounced around a lot. It's been fun to hear about people's travels around the world, and I can certainly empathize with that interest because I've definitely lived in a lot of places. One of those was California, where I actually was initially introduced to Rotary through my aunt, who was a member in a club in San Mateo. And she dragged me, I say dragged because I was young, dragged me to some luncheons where I learned about polio vaccine programs, eradication programs, and work overseas, and they sponsored students from Southeast Asia, and they came up with scholarships, and I just remember how really cool that was. But that wasn't really what led me into service. That wasn't really kind of one of the motivators. I was very fortunate as a child to have a mother who emphasized the importance of being of service to others. And the story that I think about is perhaps a little jarring, but I think it's a really great example of what I want to get at today is, I was in the 6th or 7th grade and we were driving somewhere, I don't remember where, and this car was swerving in front of us, and it looked like the passenger was struggling with the driver. And at one point, that door opened and a leg came out. It looked like the person was trying to jump out of the car. And I was, again, 6th or 7th grade, maybe 5th grade. It was very scary. We were on some backcountry road in Kentucky with corn on either side, nothing for miles. And my mom followed that car until it got to a house, and a woman jumped out, and my mom said, "Get in." And this woman ran to our car, jumped in our back seat, and she's like, "He's gonna kill me." And I was, again, 5th grade, 6th grade. And my mom said, "Okay, we're gonna get you help." My mom was a nurse, and we took this woman to a safe place, got her on the phone with the police, waited for the police to arrive, and that has always stayed with me. And it's this sense that, my takeaway from that is you never know when you're going to be of service, who you're going to be of service to, how you're going to be of service. So you just have to live each day with open eyes and an open heart and be ready to do what you can, where you can, with whom you can, however you can. And, doing the Foods for Kids this past weekend was another great example of that, an opportunity for me. And I loved getting to meet the folks from Rotary that were there, but this little 10-year-old girl who encouraged her entire family to show up because she heard about this program, and her mom said, if she does it, we do it. And that's the kind of spirit that I hope that I can inspire people around me, and I try to live each day of my life. So I went over 35 seconds, I do apologize. Somebody can take that from me later. Thank you.
Yeah, Samantha and I had so much fun at that food thing that she's already signed up to come back and help during Christmas. I think December 12th, 13th, maybe the 14th might be the days to pack boxes for Christmas time, because these kids don't eat unless these boxes have 1,200 kids are benefited in 4 counties. I think it's pretty marvelous. All started with one mother at Twiller, but that's another story. And I'm taking too much of Mr. President's time. John Thomas.
attending today's meeting of the Rotary Club. It's that time of year, we have a lot of great things going on, and it's super busy, so I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody who volunteered for Randy this weekend, because it's a really great organization. We've done it in the past. It's very fulfilling. Lots of upcoming events are on your table. The Wednesday Club has an event tonight. It's a fundraiser for them. So we'll see everybody outside of the Tuesday meeting. It's my pleasure to introduce the new speaker, Jessica Parrish. Jessica is a mission-driven nonprofit executive with more than 20 years of leadership experience in affordable housing, community development, and social impact. She currently serves as the CEO of Alachua Habitat for Humanity, where she leads organizations' strategic growth, community partnerships, and mission to build strength, stability, and self-reliance through affordable homeownership.
Work for me, right? All right, hands off. Perfect. Thank you. My name is Jessica Parrish, as he mentioned, CEO for Alachua Habitat. He asked me when I got here how long I've been here, and I'm like, 2 months. 2 months and what, 3 days, Cheryl? So it's new. If you have any hard-hitting questions, I'm definitely going to lean on Scott and Cheryl for assistance. But I do have a slideshow. There we go. Yay. Oh, awesome. Thank you. So Alachua Habitat, many of you are mostly familiar, I would assume, is building strength, stability, and self-reliance and shelter in Alachua County. So who are we, right? So our vision is a world, gosh, I wish I wore glasses, where everyone has safe, accessible, affordable housing. We believe that everyone deserves access to homeownership. And our goal is to become, there was a pair of glasses on the table. Our goal is to become the most engaged, efficient, and effective habitat affiliate in the United States. So who do we serve? Anyone in Alachua County. All municipalities within Alachua County we cover. Our main footprint is in the city of Gainesville. However, we are reaching out now into Alachua, High Springs, and other neighboring communities, mostly because of the cost of land in the city of Gainesville. So since our founding in 1986, we will be celebrating 40 years next year in 2026. We have built 193 homes. And I will give you a little preview. In 2026, we will hit 200, by the way. So it'll be the 40th anniversary celebrating the 200th build for Alachua Habitat. Amazing. So what do we do? For the most part, we build affordable homes in Alachua County with the help of our amazing volunteers and our donor base. So the homes roughly start with mortgages 30 to 40% lower than market rate. We have seen some amazing mortgages recently with some of our dedications where a homeowner walked away with the mortgage at around $140,000 due to subsidies that went along with it, which is amazing today. So our partner families have to meet the following criteria. So there has to be a need for housing. They're living in substandard cost burden housing currently. They have the ability to pay an affordable mortgage. They do pay a mortgage. There's a willingness to partner, so they do have to complete a certain number of sweat equity hours, which I'll mention here in a second, and they have to complete homeowner educational workshops, how to budget, what does insurance look like, property taxes, how does all that work, things like that. So the sweat equity is broken out into 2 parts. So they have to spend at least 50 hours building another family's home, so another Habitat family, and then they spend about 200 hours on their own home. So they do participate in that process. But we don't just build affordable homes, so we've also jumped into critical repair. So we do have a critical repair program where we go out if there are issues for homeowners, their water heaters leaking, the roof is leaking, things like that. In partnership with Alachua County, we will go out and do those repairs. So who has access to home ownership? I kind of chuckled at this slide because it's getting less and less as the years go on, right? So the top 5 barriers for home ownership right now is the rising cost of homes. Home prices are outrageous and they just keep on climbing. And most recently, interest rates have also climbed. So that's made it impossible for certain individuals to get a market rate loan or even buy a home. There's also the lack of funding for down payment and closing cost assistance. So most mortgage lenders require substantial down. Existing debt, so student loan crisis has been a huge issue with a lot of younger families trying to establish homeownership. And then credit. So all of those are covered in our workshops. Those 10 educational workshops that all of our homeowners have to complete cover how to improve your credit, how to handle debt, what is good debt, what is bad debt, how to work through all of that. So since 2019, US home prices have increased by more than 60% in that time frame, pushing the typical home to nearly 5 times the median household income. It's pretty insane how prices have drastically risen. So what are the benefits for homeownership? So I think most of us understand that homeownership can lead to greater economic stability, increased access to quality education, increased civil and social engagement, better physical and mental health for the homeowner and their family, and then a reduced environmental footprint. So in 2022, US homeowners had a median net wealth that was more than 3,700% higher than that of renters. So you're not just providing an affordable, stable home, but you're also building that generational wealth for the families to continue on for generations to come. It's teaching their kids that there are other options out there other than renting and continuing in a cost-burdened. I lost my train of thought. Each year of homeownership is associated with an additional $9,500 in net wealth on average. Again, generational wealth for the families to continue on. But there's also a huge impact on education, which we've seen with some of our families that have participated in the Habitat households. So children of low-income homeowners are 11% more likely to graduate from high school. They're 4.5% more likely to complete post-secondary education than children of low-income renters. Homeownership contributes to higher standardized test scores in math, and for those with a longer homeownership tenure, increased test scores in reading. So it does provide all kinds of social, economical impacts. Some other benefits that we've seen is homeownership promotes civic and social engagement. The homeowners get more involved in their community. They take pride in their community. They're out mingling with neighbors. I can tell you when I bought my townhouse, I still to this day do not know my neighbors, and it's been 6 years. I mean, this provides that civic and social engagement. The community really becomes families, and we've seen that especially when we build multiple homes within a community, it becomes that sense of pride and community. So some affordable terms that we follow with Alachua Habitat is housing is considered affordable if the cost is less than 30% of the household's income. So your mortgage payment is 30% of your income. Cost burden is when you're paying 30% more than 30% of that. And you see that a lot with rent in some mortgages where individuals are going 25, 28, $3,000 a month for rent just for a 2-bedroom. Severely cost burden is considered paying more than 50% of their income. And we use a term called area median income. So that is just your standard income measured based off household size for our region. So for the region of Alachua County for the Gainesville MSA. And then housing wage is the hourly wage a full-time worker must work in order to afford a modest rental home. So I give you those definitions because, there you go. So about 55% of renters in Alachua County were cost burdened, which is the 6th highest rank of all MSAs in the state of Florida. A full-time worker needs to make $21.81 per hour to rent a typical 2-bedroom apartment in Alachua County. Home prices in Alachua County remain near historic highs, contributing to the most unaffordable housing market in 3 decades. And then 1 in 3 households in Alachua County pay more than 30% of their income on housing. 1 in 5 pay more than 50%. So our driving force are these homeowner builds. So we love meeting and introducing new families. These are our current families that are in process for homes right now. Let's see. So how can you help? So there's multiple different ways. So obviously donate. but also volunteer your time. So we have builds twice a week, every week, basically all year long, maybe except the summer months because it gets a little hot. But reach out, we can schedule you guys to come out for a build. You can do it personally, as a group, whatever. Like, follow, and share, of course, on social media. All of our information of upcoming events and ways to get involved are always shared on social media. So if you have any questions, on the screen is my contact info, as well as Kelly Thompson, who is our Director of Development, if you want to reach out to her for partnerships, volunteer opportunities, things like that. Christine Thompson is our Director of Family Services. No relation. I know it's very funny that we have a Kelly Thompson and a Christine Thompson, but there's no relation there, ironically. So anything in regards to homeownership, if you know of somebody that may be a good fit for our program and to go through the homeownership process, Christine would be your contact person. And then Rose Holcomb is actually one of our most recent families and homeowner. She is our volunteer coordinator. So if you're interested in coming out and volunteering, Rose would be your contact person. So as I said, this is 2 months and 3 days on the job, so please be nice if you have any questions. Otherwise, Cheryl and Scott will help me out for sure. So thank you.
As I'm walking over that way, I wanted to mention December 6th, Saturday, we actually have a group coming out.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
We'll get that out there, and people that want to sign up for that, we have a link we'll send out, and you can do that.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi. Oh. Are you asking a question? I have a microphone. Hi, I'm Nancy Hart, and this is a softball. Okay. Every spring, women Rotarians visit the Women Build House and provide lunch. And you didn't mention that one house every year is built by women. And could you tell us a little more about that?
So we actually just got the permit for our next Women Build, which is very exciting. That happened on Friday. So that will be coming up. It will be our 21st, Cheryl, the one that we're getting ready to start, because I think we just dedicated our 20th? 19th? Okay, so this will be our 20th Women Build that we're getting ready to start, that we just got the permit on. It's somewhere around there, 19 or 20. If Cheryl can't keep me right, I'm in trouble. But yes, every year we dedicate one build. There's a Women Build steering committee that really runs the show for that build. But we just got the permit and getting ready to kick off 20th, 21st, one of those coming up here soon in the city of Gainesville. So yeah.
Can you tell us what they are appraising at these days? Because I want people to know what those houses are appraising for, and then what those mortgages actually are, what the interest rate is.
One of our most recent homeowners that I mentioned has a mortgage for around $140,000. Her home appraised at $260,000. And we were able to write off via multiple subsidies between the city of Gainesville, Alachua, and other grants and contributions, that difference to get her mortgage down to $140,000. 0%. Yeah.
More questions?
I'm just curious, how many houses do you have under construction at any given time?
Currently, there's about 5 under construction and about 6 in the pipeline for the next year. So the plan is that in this fiscal year, so we're a July to June fiscal year, we have our set builds that we're constructing, but we're also sourcing lots and land for our next fiscal year so we can keep the cycle going. This year we'll end up with probably completion of about 7 to 8, depending on time frame and permitting and things like that. Next year we're looking at right about the same time.
Hi, thank you for your wonderful presentation. I read your bio, and it sounds like you have great fundraising background and experience. But as a person who's been in nonprofit management all my life, I know that fundraising is getting harder and harder. Does Habitat for Humanity get any kind of federal funding at all, or does it all come from private sources?
So it's all private for us. There are other Habitat affiliates that go the federal route. We have not gone down that route as of yet. So all of ours is private, city, local government, nothing from the state. We just haven't gotten there yet. It's in the pipeline, it's in the dream, it's in the strategy to get to that point, but we just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Again, thank you for your presentation. I'm not going to be as hard as Nancy. My question is so simple. Can you talk more of inclusion and exclusion criteria of process of selecting the person, that individual? And also, since we are also talking about homeless population, do you kind of thinking along the way, or do you just deal with individual families?
So currently we deal with the individual families, and how an individual comes about is they apply to us and they go through a screening process based off that criteria that was on the screen. So need for housing, ability to pay, agreeance to partnership and things like that. So our family services team goes through their file, reviews all their financials, go through the bank statements, tracks all their income, looks at the debt. But then they also go out and do a home visit to verify where they're at currently to make sure that that is an unsafe condition, so that we don't have individuals applying for a Habitat home that may not meet certain criteria. So it's pretty rigorous. They have to be able to show that they can pay and they don't have excessive debt currently or planned in the next 3 years type of thing.
Michael Pellet here. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Welcome to one heck of a challenge.
Yes.
My question is this. I like to donate to Habitat, and I also get mailers from the major lumber yards periodically saying they'll do a 50% match or a 100% match. Just so that I know that if I do both, I get credit, or does the lumberyard get that credit? It's just a silly little question for taxes.
Yeah, so the lumberyard would get the credit in that exact scenario, but we did start a new program recently called Unite the Trades, and to my knowledge, there's no lumberyard included in that group, so I'd love to know who that is so I can go after them.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I didn't even need you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jessica, for that. And for speaking this today, we're going to make a donation to the Rotary Foundation in your name. For 2 months on the job, I think you're pretty spot on. It's fantastic. Next week, to start off our Thanksgiving week, we have District Governor Dale Moe is going to be in town, and November will be here. That's going to be in town and bring some guests. I assume people will have some guests coming in town next week. We have a lot going on, so it should be a great presentation. Our quote for the week: when we left the White House, we could have done anything, but our choice was to volunteer as Habitat workers. That has been a life-changing experience for us. The Rotary Reading Safari winner is 861. 861. We are adjourned.
Is that the reason? Oh no. Oh. You want us to keep everything live and ask Jenny? Oh, okay. We're good. Jenna.